Hey all, Colt here, and it's that time of year again where we murder the watermelon sister and steal candy from adults. Halloween is a period where people scare themselves silly with anything they can, ranging from movies to video games to politics. Me, however, I like to scare myself with the everyday objects around me. I mean, I could use the Legos, but doing laundry is so much worse. So you buy a new Lego set, and all I gotta say is, I hope you read the fine print. You see, the idea of building and owning Legos seems like a dream come true, despite the fact that you have to sell your firstborn child to actually buy and own said Lego. However, there are a lot of unknown struggles that many Lego users go through that the outside world is oblivious to, either by choice or naivety. And that's why I'm here, to uncover all the horrors that hide within the details of being a Lego collector. Well, that can't be good. The backup generator should last us at least another 12 or so minutes, so we'll just have to last until then. And even if that fails, we got old reliable flashlight, so we should be fine. At least the darkness hides the dust on my Legos that I've been collecting since 2013. This is why I have to ingest these every day. So, fun fact, objects collect dust. Plastic much more than any other object. Actually, that's a lie. Anything you need clean collects dust, including Legos. And holy crap, these things collect dust fast. It is impossible to keep these little suckers clean for more than a week, unless you frequently dust them, which you know I don't. Especially with a collection of this size, it's just not feasible. So whenever I pull any of these sets off the shelves, they're always just caked in dust, which is probably why I have bronchiolitis. You know, Lego could kill the world's entire population of Lego collectors with the amount of respiratory issues they get from dust. Either we die from that or poverty. You're telling me this thing is $60? Like, come on, I could buy this for less and I'd still be disappointed. So you decide to become a Lego collector. You pick a set off the shelves, you go to the checkout and find out that you're deeper into debt than your college loans. Yeah, you thought I was joking from earlier? No! The IRS called a few days ago, and I didn't give them all $3.4 million they asked for, not because I don't want to, but because I still haven't paid off my final Flight of the Destiny's bounty debt. I also just don't want to. Now, I can begin to understand why these things are so expensive, but I can't ever finish understanding. Like, come on guys, unless this thing can raise the dead, I'm not gonna buy it, dang it. While a lot of these sets are egregious and honestly insulting, I've noticed a trend with Lego sets. Smaller ones are much worse deals in comparison to larger sets, or at least it feels like that. But after you actually buy and build your Lego set, another problem shows its horrifying face. I bought this all for $1. Spare parts are a stigma of Legos, a well-known unknown fact in the Lego hemisphere. Many throw their pieces into a bin of some sort, but if you're like me, you were an idiot as a child, still am. Okay, so for no reason at all, I decided the best thing to do with my unwanted Lego sets was to destroy them. Like I said, I was an idiot back then. I resented the Lego Ninjago movie when it had come out, but by the time I actually found out I hated the movie, I was already $200 deep into buying sets. My Lego Batman sets have no such excuse. I spent a lot of money on Lego in 2017, and while most of those sets were Lego Ninjago movie sets, I also bought my fair share of Lego Batman movie sets. And yet, about a year and a half later, all of these sets were destroyed, forever banished into the bin until I choose to rebuild them. And the worst part is, I wasn't even a kid when this happened. Now, I have tried to rectify this error by rebuilding some of the sets. Matter of fact, here's Kai's Fire Mech in mint condition. Almost. This is honestly a really infuriating problem. So, when I was reorganizing my pieces, I said, oh yeah, let's separate the pieces by color. That way, whenever I need a piece, I can just go to where that color is. I was an idiot. I mean, try finding a 2x2 plate in this mess. This is why I would recommend splitting up your pieces by piece type instead of color. But at least now I have them separated by color and by piece. Now I know I won't be able to sleep tonight due to all these horrors I've been talking about. But you want to know the scariest thing? We're not done yet. Spare minifigures. You're bound to have some if you collect Lego like I do, and I'm considered a mild collector. That's the thing about collecting Legos. You see multiple sets you really like, you buy them both, then you realize you now have two Gord the God Butchers. Like, what do you want me to do with this? Especially with the Ninjago sets. If you ever come across a man with this many Serpentine Warriors, run. I said run. Most people throw these choking hazards into a baggie and call it a day, but I was lucky enough to rob a convenience store with one of these things. These are mainly used for tools and productiveness, but I know better than that. I mean, look at me. But hey, if this isn't your thing, then you can separate your minifigures and dump them into separate other bins. Yeah, I told you I was an idiot. Now, in my defense, In my offense, I got a lot of these pieces in Lego lots sold on either eBay or the Facebook market. You'd be surprised. That's also how I found a lot of my spare pieces. Why'd you do it, you might ask? Most Lego lot sellers either think you're an idiot or are idiots. There are a few intact figures and very little else. However, whenever I see these lots with a figure I have yet to own, I fall into the temptation, and now I own Anakin Skywalker and a Lego boat. And these sellers know that, which is exactly why they do it. Those sneaky bastards! Oddly enough though, I haven't encountered many spare part lots with these things. Oh my gosh, what does it do? Plays the drums, but poorly. These are brick separators, assembly assistant tools handed out in almost every Lego set nowadays. Rewinding time a bit, you begin to notice that these weren't introduced until a few years ago, meaning that many people did things the old-fashioned way. Which leads to the dreaded bit brick. As someone who used to do this, I gotta say, they need some Cajun spice. Well, if you really are getting hungry, may I direct you to the Lego instruction manual, now completely digestible. Don't worry, I've checked for you. Need some Cajun spice. Every set has one, sometimes two for no freaking reason. When you have Legos for days and days like I do, your manuals begin to stack up and then it hits you. What the frick do I do with this? You can either recycle and be good to the environment, or you can hoard your food. These used to be fun, what with the excited kid on the back and whatnot. It really felt more like a toy. Nowadays, they have this very boring front, almost like a checklist of what you bought. No funny business, just the Crystal King. This doesn't feel like fun, it feels like homework. But hey, it's better than the Lego Mario sets. Now I got a bone to pick with these sets, but I don't think talking about them fits our current discussion. What does though is their manuals, or rather, a lack thereof. For some unholy reason, they don't have actual manuals, just these little pamphlets with advertisements for other sets and a QR code for the Lego Mario app. The instructions are all digital, and I see the appeal for going digital. Why take up this much space when you can take up this much space? However, this just takes away from all the fun of the actual building. Wait a minute, this looks familiar. I knew it! The physical instructions for other sets look exactly like the user interface from the Mario app. I don't get it. Do you want to go digital or not? These pamphlets remind me a lot of the pamphlets we got for earlier Ninjago sets, which I guess serve the same purpose. Hey, go here and buy more Legos, you idiot. And they both worked. Well, now that we have our sets built, might as well put them on display. I mean, you got nothing else going on. Thing is, do you display the sets and figures separately, going for a sleek and neat optimization? Or do you choose chaos? There's nothing wrong with displaying your Legos like an action scene. It's just incorrect. I just don't get it, man. I used to display my figures in sets like that, but it really just felt empty and off. I much prefer the neatness over the chaos. Both sides of this fight, though, can agree on one thing. Breaking Legos suck. I mean, after one good stomp, they're toast. Which is why when Lego sets break, they are abysmal to reassemble. Sure, if you have a few pieces fall off, boo, hoo. But if something bigger breaks, you got bigger things to worry about besides finding the cure to Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. Now you gotta find the manual again, gather all the pieces, lose some of them, look for more, learn you don't have that piece, order the piece on Bricklink, find the missing piece, rebuild the set, drop it, then rebuild it. Can you see why people don't want to do this? Breaking a Lego set is, in essence, all of the horrors I listed before balled up into one big horror. However, there's one big horror that, with a mere thought, can scare the crap out of any Lego collector. I mean, spare pieces and minifigures is all fun and stuff. Fun. But the idea of stealing the entire idea of Lego, bricks and all, and making and selling said Lego for such a lower price? It's more joke than scary story. Some are funny, but others are an insult to those that spend money on real Lego. Good lord, kill it! Off-brand Legos. Obviously, Lego collectors are serious about spending $300 on a cardboard box and pounds of bricks. So what if you drop the price to $2.99? Witchcraft! I need to know, how did this happen? In theory, these companies need to make a profit, but how do they do it? What keeps them in business at AliExpress? Like I said, witchcraft. This is if you get lucky though. If I'm being quite frank, most off-brand Legos look more like this instead of this, that it's just smarter to just buy the real deal. I'm not talking about this though. I'm talking about the good ones. My severed memory has gone on record to say that he finds this stuff to be a guilty pleasure because of how stupid they look. I never said it was wrong. Those are the cases where the off-brandness has a goofier look to them. Me, however, I hate the dumb ones. For the good ones though, I gotta say, they look pretty cool. Let me explain! Right here, I have zombie versions of some Marvel characters from the TV show What If. Of course, we already have an official zombie Captain America, but let's be honest, we were never going to get all these other characters, especially Zombie Wong. These off-brand companies know that, and decided to make all of our Wong zombie dreams a reality. Thank you. The figures themselves are superb, with arm front and side leg printing, and back leg printing if you're Sherlock Holmes. Each character is carefully crafted and well made, with details I'll bet even Lego wouldn't include, like the Sherlock privilege. Or what about these off-brand Ninjago Serpentine? They're so well done you can't even tell the difference between the official and the $5 one. Call it a guilty pleasure or a tumor, but I quite enjoy these figures. Hey look, the power's back, and sooner than I thought, which is good because I'm running low on things to talk about. As scary as all of this stuff is, I'm still proud to call myself a Lego fan. I fear all this stuff, no doubt about it. But the fear is worth it if I can call myself a fan of Lego. Funny thing is, I didn't even talk about the scariest part about being a Lego fan. Talking to Ninjago TV show watchers. Those guys are the scariest. Did somebody say Ninjago?